The third is Shane Guidry. Shane is a resident of Metairie and currently serves as the chairman and CEO of Harvey Gulf International Marine. He is a leader in the maritime industry and was the first to provide the Gulf of Mexico with dual-fuel LNG supply vessels. He has both domestic and international experience in deepwater and ultra-deepwater offshore oil and gas operations. The next chair is Tim Hardy. Tim is a native of Shreveport and is the partner in the Baton Rouge office of Brazil Saxon Wilson, where his area of concentration is in environmental law. Tim has served as the top advisor for environmental affairs of former Louisiana Governor Buddy Roemer, where he was the Assistant Secretary of DEQ. And he also was a division director at the Louisiana Department of Justice some time back. He has served on 5 Louisiana gubernatorial transition teams for both newly elected Democrats and Republican governors. The next chair is Steve Orlando. Steve is a resident of Lafayette, a successful businessman and philanthropist. Steve and his wife, Lisa, are extremely passionate in their help for local and national charities, especially cystic fibrosis. The next chair is Eddie Risponi. Eddie is a resident of Baton Rouge and a very successful businessman and industrialist. He has served as the chairman of Associated Builders and Contractors, the Louisiana Federation for Children, and the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Eddie has been an advocate for educational reforms in this state for decades now. And then lastly, as I looked at this group of people we assembled, I realized, and I took from something my mom always say, is that you always need a good woman to make sure those men get everything right. And so we are going to appoint Sharon as one of our transition chairs. She's going to help keep them in line, because that's some big egos we got, right? There's some great folks, great leaders. But it's important to know that since my days in Congress, she has always been a quiet voice in doing her best to kind of corral me and make sure that we are always focused on the people that we serve. And then our transition director is going to be Kyle Rutger. Kyle is a resident of Baton Rouge who grew up in New Orleans and graduated at Jesuit High, which is real important if you're in New Orleans, right? He earned his bachelor's from Tulane University, and he has over 15 years of senior management experience as the chief of staff in both the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. He was a senior consultant and strategist on our gubernatorial campaign. So now I'll go ahead and open it up with a couple of questions, we'll take a few questions. But I want to make sure that you understand we might not be able to answer them all today. But I promise that we are going to make this transition a success, and we want to make sure that it's thorough, it's efficient, and it is as transparent as possible. You know, the state wasn't broke overnight, and we're not going to fix it overnight. And so we want to make sure that what we do is a very thorough and important process. So we're going to just take our time. We've got a little extra time, and we're going to use that to our advantage to make sure that we get it right for the people of this state. So with that, I'll open it up to a few questions. Julie.
Thank you, Governor-elect. Can you talk a little bit more? You said you're having the transition in Lafayette because you think it'll be easier for people to access it. Normally the transitions have been in Baton Rouge, I believe. Can you talk a little bit more about the decision to put it in Lafayette?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is our home. This is where we live. We don't live far from this university. This is my alma mater. Again, we're going to do things different. So people should expect us to do things not in the normal cadence, but to do it differently. And I think that it speaks with a voice. I think, look, one of the themes that we have talked about during this, or during the campaign, was that we want to work on crime, education, and the economy. And we want the people of Louisiana to know that all of our universities are important to us. All right? And we want to focus on all of our universities and make sure that they respond to the needs of the people of this state. Thank you. Next.
One thing about crime. Now, would you call the legislators to special session to address crime, and if so, what do you have to do?
Yeah, look, one of the things I'm very proud of is that we don't make many promises on the campaign trail. We talk to people about solutions. But when we do, we absolutely intend to fulfill them. And one of the things that we said was our main focus was on crime. And we do intend to call the legislature into session within the first month, within the first week if we can. We're going to work with them and the legislative leadership to get them into session, and we're going to have a crime session to fix the structural problems with our criminal justice system. Yes, yes, ma'am.
May I ask a question of the First Lady-elect?
Sure.
Piper Hutchinson, Louisiana Luminaire. Governor-elect Landry said it would be your job to keep everybody in line. Do you think you'll have any challenges doing so?
I don't think so. I think it'll go smoothly.
Do you anticipate having just as active a role in the administration as you are in the transition?
Yeah, I think we're a team.
Just real quick, could you give us an idea of what it is you're expecting to come out of that special crime session? What are you looking to see land on your desk?
Yeah, look, our goal would be to ensure that we have transparency and accountability in our criminal justice system. And we want to make the goal of that, of our criminal justice system, is how do we keep people from going to jail, not how do we let people out of jail. And we also want to make sure that victims have rights and that we ensure that we concentrate on the rights of the victims rather than the rights of the criminals.
I'm Taylor with KATC. Hello, First Lady-elect as well. My question for you is, you mentioned that at the very start of your speech, we're doing things differently with you guys. Let's say in the first quarter of your time in office, what are your immediate goals moving forward in your new position?
Look, our goals, whether it be in the first quarter or throughout the 4 years, are going to be crime, education, and the economy. We're not wavering off of those, okay? Now, if we fix crime in a quarter, it would be wonderful. I don't think we can, right? But certainly, whether it's the first quarter, whether it's the first 100 days, or the second year, or the third year, we are going to continue to concentrate on those three things. That's the promise that we made to voters. All right, one last question. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
As you move forward with the transition, how would you characterize your relationship with the current administration?
Yeah, look, the governor has been extremely gracious in ensuring us that the transition is going to be smoothly. And I got to tell you, I want to thank him for that. I know that prior administrations, as they transition out and new ones transition in, there can be a lot of tension. And you know what? I think that is unfair for those going out to do that for anyone who's coming in. I kind of experienced that 8 years ago, where we were just kind of left with the keys. So I do appreciate, I think the governor has done a great job of reaching out. We're continuing to communicate with his office. And as we pull the rest of the transition committees together, we'll be working, we hope to be working with them more and more in a very transparent manner. So look, I appreciate it. Now look, again, let me make sure you understand that the purpose today is to ensure that this transition starts hitting the ground running in January with a clear set of recommendations and policies to tackle the challenges that we have coming. And so, as we said, we are going to keep you as updated as often as possible. And I really do appreciate all of you being here, and we look forward to more to lay out in the coming weeks. Thank you so very much.